What's going on, folks, and welcome to another episode of the 10% Better podcast. My name, of course, is Andrew McGee, and today I have a very special guest in Joe Docherty. Joe owns a business called Executive Engagement, and also he has got some good viewpoints in our discussion today with the innovations in business through COVID-19. So, Joe, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, Andrew, and thank you for having me. I'm very well on week 3 of lockdown.
You and I both, mate. You and I both. Thanks, obviously, for coming on as well. I know I'd spoke to you about this, that I did some stuff with other LBG members as well. I had Paul Cummins on. Do you know that? I had him on a couple of weeks ago there.
No, I didn't know that.
I had Paul Cummins on talking about, this was actually before lockdown and everything happened, talking a bit about property and what he does in his business and things like that. And then I had Andy Aird on as well. He spoke with his FSB hat on, so I was able to get his kind of understanding. And
there's a surprise.
Exactly. I was able to get his kind of background and thought process with it all as well. But I've been doing this podcast for maybe about 6 months now. I had Paul McCaughey on just at Christmas time as well, and basically it's a very, what I would class as a selfish thing, because I speak to people that I'm interested in hearing about, and I cover topics that I'm interested in, and just hope that other people are interested in it as well, you know. So I've had a good response so far, so it'll be interesting to hear today. And obviously with the fact that we've got a lot of time on our hands now as well, mate, you know.
We have to maximise that time.
You're right. Do you want to give the listeners a wee introduction to just what you do and who you are as well, Joe?
Yeah. Thanks very much, Andrew. So, as Andrew says, I'm Joe Docherty, and I'm delighted to be here. Not quite sure what's going to happen, but hopefully you'll enjoy what I'm going to say. So, I'm, as Andrew says, got one business from a sales consultancy. So, how did I get to that? So, my background is electronics and electrical engineering. Very analytical. So I used those skills. I went into large American corporations from a sales perspective. Because engineering is analytical, law is also analytical as well. Those skills transferred into a sales perspective. So I worked in that industry for some particular time, selling into most sectors, whether it be retail, whether it be research, whether it be banking, whether it be public sector. I've been very fortunate that I've sold into those sectors. All of those sectors are now without their challenges as we face today. So what do I do now? I focus on the startup and SME sector, or sectors. Now, that to me gives me a great insight into what's new, what's around the corner. I'm passionate about technology, which I'm sure we'll talk about later on, but also helping with the community from that perspective. Emerging technologies, biotech and pharma, boy, who would have thought that would come out to play at the moment? Did I see that coming 3 years ago? Absolutely not, but it's done me in good stead. Also, as Andrew's aware, I'm Vice Chair of Lancashire Business Group. We meet in there every Tuesday, and guess what? We had to change. We don't do face-to-face, we use video. Which is turning out to be a great success. From a voluntary perspective, I give a lot of time to the Young Enterprise Scotland Company Programme. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's 5th and 6th year pupils set up their own company. So what we're talking about doing in small medium enterprise, they're actually doing that right now in schools. So much so that we should have had our first award ceremony. Regional finals was the 31st of March. We had to change that to virtual judging, which wasn't without its challenges, but we got there, we delivered it, and I will be informing the schools, the winners, tomorrow.
Very nice. So
that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, even the YES programme's a great thing as well. It's something that I wish we had when I was a schoolboy. You know, we had something similar called Excel, and it's something that the Prince's Trust used to run. And it was basically it was actually kind of good in terms of entrepreneurship. It taught you how to, for us, it was building sheds and garden furniture, and then essentially marketing them, selling them, pricing them, all things that as a fourth year pupil I didn't think I was ever going to use. Little be known, it's everything that I use. So I was taken out of French. As you imagine, I'm not that great in my French language. My other half's obviously happy about that. But
I felt some of your French.
Exactly. Depending how this podcast goes, you might hear more. But I was taken out of that, and I was put into this Excel program. And do you know something? I loved it. And I think now I used to do a wee bit of work with Young Enterprise Scotland as well, and going over there and seeing how the kids interact and sitting on some of the judging panels, and it was really an eye opener as well of what's to come in terms of employment opportunities or becoming an employer in the future. Whereas even just 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that wasn't kind of where it is now, you know. So it is a big difference, which is good.
Some of the reports that we've received, Andrew, will do any corporate or any SME enterprise proud. Mm-hmm. Presentations are top class.
Yeah.
And so that will stand them in good stead, and it will stand the country in good stead when they elect to get into business. But even then, if they don't elect to get into business, it will help their career no end, whatever they may choose to do.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a new breed of people that are coming through the ranks, which is good, you know. How have you been kind of coping? How have you been affected with this whole pandemic? Have you been handling things, or what's the script?
Well, like most people, did it come like a bolt out of the blue? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in my mindset that change is good. Mm-hmm. I'm a very sociable person, face-to-face person. You may call that traditional, you may call it old-fashioned. So have I to adapt and change? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So I now use all the media. We talked about it, you know, whether it be Zoom, whether it be Skype, whether it be Loom, whether it be anything that we have there, and, dare I say it, the old-fashioned telephone.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it is, when you talk to people there, people are there. But also use, and one of the things I'm getting back into my own mind is meditation. Mm-hmm. As you know, I'm a strong believer in meditation. And I think you need this today with positive mental attitude, coupled with physical exercise. So I'm hoping to be leaner, meaner.
I like that.
When I come out the other end. That may be your tagline there, I'm not quite sure. But I certainly will be leaner, meaner, both from a physical perspective, but more importantly, for a mind perspective. Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing in this, I call it a transition. People should not get used to this as a holiday.
Yeah.
This is a transition. And we have to be prepared when we get to the other end, when normality, whatever that may be. Now, it's not going to happen at the end. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a slow curve. Yeah. And we have to be ready for that day when it happens. So my views just now for myself and for everyone else is use this as preparation and planning time for your business, but also for yourself. So has it changed? Absolutely, Andrew. Yeah.
I mean, I think that is kind of the key, is that I've seen people over the past few weeks on social media and such going, oh, this is great, I'm in the house and I'm not having to go to work and blah, 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 and I'm getting 80% of my wages and all that. But, I mean, for people like you and I, it can drive you crazy, you know? Like, I'm very fortunate that I'm able to work. And I think a lot of people don't understand that being able to work and being in a job and having employment or having purpose is a very, very lucky thing. And for people to kind of downplay that a little bit and go, oh, this is great, I'm off for a few weeks, I think that after the first or second week they will get a big shock when they go, wait a minute,
absolutely,
I can't go out and I need to sit in the house and I'm twiddling my thumbs here. We as people are supposed to be active, and we're supposed to not only physically but mentally as well. And I think that the people who aren't setting themselves up when they're inside by having routine and by having structure, they're the ones that are really going to struggle, you know, at the other end.
Totally agree, Andrew. The things for me I emphasise is not a holiday. Mm-hmm. If people are staying in their bed till 10:30, 11 o'clock, it's not a holiday.
Yeah.
You need to have a purpose. You've mentioned it. I've mentioned it. Mm-hmm. You know, whether it be the purpose on planning, preparation, whether it be the purpose in business, you need that purpose.
Yeah.
But also you need to take into routine. If you get up at 10 to 7 in the morning prior to the lockdown, guess what? Get up at 10 to 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, to get into that mindset. and be prepared, because at some stage the lockdown will be released, to use my words, and then we have to be prepared for that. So if people are sitting at home for whatever length of time it is to go to their jobs, and let's be clear, some of the jobs may not be there at the end of it.
That's
so we have to have that mindset to be prepared for that.
And I think if you've been quote unquote lazy over the duration of the lockdown, it's going to be far harder for you to turn that wheel. If you then go back to somewhere and they go, by the way, we've no work for you here, you're going to have to bust your backside to then get employment. So if you've already stagnated and if you've already created that that basis of doing nothing, then it's going to be a million times harder for you on the other side.
Totally concur. And if people are prepared and plan, why not update your CV? Why not update your business plan? Why not update any social media, whether it be LinkedIn, Facebook, or anything else out there, Instagram? Use it and choose it, and do it wisely.
No, you're right. And are you working with any businesses just now, or have you kind of put things on hold, or what's the script with you?
Well, a bit of both. Some I wouldn't say are hold. Some of lost or away. Right. Because of the current climate. So, like most people, you dig into the reserves and you look for some of your contacts. I'm very fortunate, as you know, I've been out in Singapore and to the east recently. So I've been utilising those contacts. So very fortunate I'm being active, because some of the countries I'm dealing with are either coming out of lockdown and some are entering lockdown. So there's more freedom of movement to get things going there. So I'm doing that, and that's keeping me active and busy. But also, more closer to home, from a COVID-19 perspective, there's a fund out there with the Innovate UK, which is £20 million. So if I look at the Scottish average, roughly that's between 8 and 10%. So say we're going to get 2 million here for Scotland. So I want to work with a collaboration with people, with some universities, some businesses, to put in what is going to assist in COVID-19. Now, to me, technology and data is crucial, as well as the vaccine and testing is crucial. So can we do something that makes a difference? And I believe the answer is yes. I'm also hopefully working with someone else to look at manufacturing PPE equipment.
All right, okay.
Because you can't get enough of PPE. And if you talk to the clinicians, they just don't go through one mask per day. They go through one mask per patient, one pair of gloves per patient. So it's not just having a PPE equipment, it's a replenishing of that equipment. So the answer is still active.
And is that a Scottish-based business, the PPE one, or is that abroad?
Also, this is new. We all know manufacturing, for lots of reasons, is not where it should be. We all know Big Pharma is not where it should be, and that's why there's no testing. And we'll talk about which countries are ahead of us. There's a clear answer about what Big Pharma have been doing in those particular countries and what we find they've not been doing in this country of ours.
And from that, what do you think the kind of biggest lesson will be for businesses that have been hit with this COVID-19 moving forward? Do you think that there's something to be, obviously there has to be something to be learned in this kind of time, do you think that's something that most people will take heed on? Or I did read something yesterday, don't know, I've not fully verified it yet, but it was about Wimbledon, and it was about the insurance. Did you hear about that? The tennis that's been postponed. So that the big tennis, the fact that that's been postponed, apparently 7 years ago they took out pandemic insurance, and they were paying a rate of, I think it was $2 million a year for pandemic insurance. And they've now just made a claim for $135 million that's been paid out as of yesterday, for obviously the current pandemic. So that's where their insurance, they were one of the ones that maybe thought that there might have been a pandemic and got the insurance for it,
Well, if you look at that sport, with that sector, the hospitality sector, I would say I'd like to think that may be commonplace. You thought that. To me, it's you ask about what will we learn. I think a lot of things. I think we take things for granted. We're going along there steady. Guess what? We're off a cliff. So we need to look at a couple of things. If we look at our business plan, a lot of businesses have a business plan, which is the good news. The bad news is a lot of businesses in the bottom cupboard, in the bottom drawer.
Yeah, that's
Will
true.
they review it? Again, this is a time. Why not review your business plan? Do something on your business to get the right down. That business plan may be to say, when I come out the other side, and you will come out the other side, you may want to do something different. Me, it's the what if scenario. So if you do your business plan, whatever you're doing, always test it with a what if.
Yeah.
What if this happens? What if? What if? And also do your research. To me, that's totally key on any business. And that's a great thing about Young Enterprise Scott with the kids. First basic research. No, I've got a lovely idea, great idea. Great ideas is fine. Do your research. Great idea. Is it innovative to do it?
Yeah.
And then, to look at, business on COVID-19, to use a quote from Lord Sugar, where there's mystery, there's magic.
Yeah.
Do we know enough about COVID-19? No. To use my words, the government is building a plane, but flying the plane at the same time. We're not quite sure what the plane looks like. So, to me, that's why the daily press briefings are fantastic and everything else. But if you look at, what they're dealing with, it's difficult. And that's where data and technology comes into it. So when we come out of this, we will come out of this, in my opinion, it will be local testing.
Yeah.
So at the moment we are all in lockdown, we can't just be released. Who do they know has got it? Who do they know has not got it? Who do they know may get it? We think we know the end. There's no testing for that. So we can use data to look at that. We'll talk about other countries that are using technology and data.
Yeah.
In my opinion, far better than we're doing.
And I think that the testing, it doesn't seem to be crazy invasive or anything. It's a swab, as far as I'm aware, that's able to then decipher if you've had it or if you've got it or what the kind of current basis is,
You do it at home. So to me, there's two tests just now. I emphasise just now is one is up your nose.
Yeah.
Which I have to be honest is not pleasant.
Yeah.
The other one's a swab inside. So the two swabs are taken, for that.
Yeah.
And then if you look at for people to look at some innovative technologies, you can do a blood test and you can use your PDA and that will tell you your oxygen level. So that basically tells you if it's acceptable to, basically your lungs to do that. So why are we not looking at that?
Yeah.
So why are we not using all the brains and all the technologies and all the people here and universities, collaboration to look at that?
Yeah.
And help the government.
And it is something I think that probably every business will have to consider, because I mean, as far as I'm aware, in my years, there's been nothing that's been as detrimental as this, or as use the pun, but or as locked down as this. I've never encountered or I've never been aware of anything that's been as big as this on business or on public.
It'll never happen again. This hopefully will be a once in a lifetime event. Hopefully it will be a once in a lifetime event.
Yeah.
Businesses some will come out mean and sharper. Some will come out, and you mentioned that people are in there having a holiday. Guess what's going to happen?
Yeah. They're going to end up at the bottom of the pile. But that's the same with everything in life. If you're not willing to put in the work regardless of what the circumstance is, then you're going to end up at the bottom of the pile.
You need to put in a hard shift. You need to put in the effort. Very rarely does something just happen that's going to be world beater. And you look at all the people out there, whether it be the big technology companies, whether it be Chinese tech, whether it be American tech, whether it be UK tech, a lot of hard work has went into that.
Yeah.
They have great creative ideas and everything else. We still need to do the tenacity. You still need to put in the hours, to do that. Why did Bill Gates drop out of university? Because he wanted the time to devote his business. Yeah.
And I mean, based on obviously the way the different countries are handling it, who have you kind of seen that you've thought they're maybe handling it a bit better, or some are handling it worse? Or I have seen Sweden. I did see their approach, which is, I think they're doing the whole herd immunity approach, which is basically keep the vulnerable people indoors and away, and then try and essentially get the people who are healthy to be the ones that are getting it, which then obviously kind of works in a similar facet to, I think, what we're trying to do as well.
Yeah, so the Swedish one is still a different model. Is it unique? Absolutely. Is it going to work? Too early to say.
Yeah.
There's not enough data. Data's king at the moment. Data also has, in my opinion, been king to do that. So we need the data. So hopefully I can answer your question around who do I think personally is ahead of the curve. And we all see the curves every night at 5 o'clock, on the television.
Yeah.
As you know, I was fortunate enough to be in Singapore for a number of months last year.
Mm-hmm.
They use technology very, very well, very effectively. And what they do is, in addition to Singapore, South Korea, and also Germany, and I'll leave Germany last. South Korea and Singapore are very similar by using tech. So if someone is tested positively in an area for COVID-19, they immediately send a text to everyone in that vicinity.
All right.
Don't go near there. Do not go near there. So they're using the technology to stop people coming into contact.
That's pretty good.
In that area. Very, very good. Very, 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 very effective to do that. Mm-hmm. And also, when I was in Singapore, they used all the heat technology when you came off the airplane. When I arrived there, I was spooked. There's a guy in the suit, dead, 18 months ago.
Jesus.
And doing a temperature, I'm like, what the heck is that all about?
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
So they use the technology very early on as an early indicator as to what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So Singapore, South Korea are way ahead of us.
Yeah.
Their death rate is a lot lower than we have. Interestingly enough, and this is a fact, Scotland has got a higher death rate, COVID-19, per 1,000 population than anywhere in the UK.
All right, okay.
I don't know the answer to that. I'll just look at the facts.
Yeah.
I think we need to identify that. Is that because it's elderly? Is it care homes? Is it nursing homes? Or is that a certain area? Is it a certain sector? Is that a certain territory?
Yeah.
No idea. Let's look at the data to begin for that. The other one is ahead of the pack, again in my opinion, not just my opinion, the Chief Medical Officer, the Chief Scientific Officer, he's just trying to say that, with his curve, we're up here, Germany's flatlined.
Yeah.
Why are they there? They're doing testing. They're doing local testing.
Right.
And that's how, in my opinion, we're going to get out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to do 100,000 tests a month by the end of this month in April. Is it going to happen? I hope so.
Yeah.
Significant challenge. Why has Germany done it? Because they haven't decimated the pharma in the labs. We do not have enough labs to test those samples. So if everybody gets two swabs, one in their nose and one in their mouth, they've got to go back to lab. Do you know what? Not only do we don't have enough testing kits, we don't have enough labs to analyse the results.
Yeah.
And that's why Germany's got more testing kits, but significantly they've also got more labs.
And are they in terms of Germany, are they roughly the same size as the UK? I'm not fully aware. Are they? They're pretty big though.
I need to check.
I think they're pretty big. But I did see that they obviously were one of the ones that seemed to be doing pretty well with it, in terms of being innovative and, like you say, being proactive with it as well in ways that they can. I think the kind of funny thing is that if there's any country at all elsewhere in the world that isn't the UK that is doing maybe either something different or they're doing something that seems to be working, the UK media just won't allow it to happen. Basically, any time there was a thing I was watching on Sky News last night, and Germany was brought up, and as soon as Germany was brought up, the next thing was, I know, but you never know the death rate that they're going to have. Oh, well, that's true. You never know the death rate they're going to have, but you also don't know the success rate they're going to have either. Why paint it in that picture?
Yeah. It's easy to be negative. We need to look at the positives. The death rate in the UK is the reported death rate in hospitals. Mm-hmm. It's not the reported death rate, full stop.
Yeah.
And again on the stats, I don't know if you've noticed this, but love data. Mm-hmm. At the weekend, in the beginning of the Monday, the death rate goes down. Mm-hmm. So you think, what happens at the weekend that goes down? Yeah. Do you know what the answer is? The general registers don't open at the weekend, so you can't report a death over the weekend.
Brilliant.
Oh, absolutely. So why don't you use technology to do that?
Yeah.
Why are you still getting all this paper trail, COVID-19, what's a paper saying? I understand all that. You can do it electronically, send it there, get the data, get the live data. Yeah. And to me, the only way we're going to do that is to localise the data and what we need to do with the data. Mm-hmm. Scotland is different from London. We all know that. Mm-hmm. Are we behind London? Are we ahead of London? Depending on which graph you read, you'll follow that. We certainly get more deaths in London, and let's use the localised data with localised testing.
Yeah.
And there's the reason I did the research, I'm eating more dog food. I don't think you can read that.
Oh yeah, Department of Health and Social Care, yep.
Yeah, so that is for COVID-19 scaling up testing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm doing my own research. I've talked about research in business. I'm eating more dog food.
Yeah.
I'm doing research for COVID-19 about technologies and what we can do via the Department of Health and Social Care.
Mm-hmm.
For that, with the 4 pillars.
Yeah.
So, it's the media should be positive. We're in a challenging situation here, and everyone's asking, when's lockdown going to happen? When's it off? When is it off? When are we getting back out?
I've no idea.
Exactly, no idea. If you look at Wuhan, they're now 76 days. They're out.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it, they've still got preventive measures. They're still doing a 2-meter rule.
Mm-hmm.
So when we come out at the other end, we will come out at the other end. Yeah. It's not going to be as we know it in day one.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We still have to adhere to washing our hands, multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
We've all been in toilets, whether it be men's or ladies, and I've had the same circumstances.
Yeah.
Guys don't wash their hands after it. What?
Yeah.
Now, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that's come out of this is personal hygiene, which is fantastic.
Which is a positive.
Interestingly enough, personal hygiene, soap and water, that was the same as one of the last pandemics a century ago.
Jesus. Right.
A century ago.
So you go, what if we not learned anything?
Wash your hands and isolate. And we're adopting a century later those same techniques. And I go, great. Where's the technology?
Yeah.
We've increased technology significantly over a century.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of bright people out there, far smarter and brighter than I am.
Mm-hmm. Get
an app, get the phone, get the blood, get an adapter, put in your PDA, get it tested, bang.
Yeah. I think
that'll be cloud. Yeah.
I think when it comes to, I mean, stats and data I'm a big stats man as well. I'm a big numbers guy. I always have been. And when you look at the numbers and you look at the data that's there has to be some form of innovation with technology for things like this in the future. I mean, you look at, I think probably the majority of people have seen it now, but the TED Talk that gets shared all around the world that Bill Gates did, I think in 2015, and he spoke about the thing that was going to effectively bring down the economies and kill people and this and that doesn't look like this, and then the slide went to a nuclear weapon. He said it looks like this, and then the slide went to basically a bit of bacteria, a germ, and he discussed how the budgets were getting spent on, I mean, the US military budget is unbelievable in comparison to the R&D that is put into medicine technologies and pharmaceutical technology as well, So I think probably from a political standpoint, probably every nation, but definitely the UK, are going to have to then look and say, right, okay, how much are we spending on R&D here? How much are we spending on technology that's going to then either prevent this from happening again or allow us to handle it 10 times better? And that's probably going to be a key talking point that nobody can kind of shy away from at this stage.
It's not the normal rule of thumb when I work for those American organisations is roughly 2%.
Mm-hmm.
So 2% is R&D. And I can tell you the first budget that's cut in any organisation when cuts happen, one is people, the second is R&D budget.
Yeah. So
to me, you need to keep innovating, you need to keep changing, for that. And it's easy line on the bottom line on your annual report, R&D.
Mm-hmm.
And again, some of them are blue sky thinking, some are around the corner.
Yeah.
You need your time, but there's some scientists do need some direction. Some are really good at doing blue sky thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And again, when I was with those organisations, it was blue sky thinkers, 5-10 years ahead.
Yeah.
Then people on what's going to happen within the next 3-4 years to do that.
Yeah.
But again, back to your point, Andrew, great point. R&D spend as much as you can afford, but it has to be increased. Yeah. And again, that's the same in the UK. Public sector for R&D, whether it be high performance computing to look at the biggest, greatest, everything else. Okay, having great hardware. Guess what? You need great software.
Yeah.
So we have to keep changing it. You have to keep, get new models and everything else. And if you look at the model that's currently been with the Chief Scientist Officer, that's out there. So people can use that data to I would suggest, to get into a more localised basis. Now, if you look at London, London's got, what, 6-7 million people?
Yeah.
Size of Scotland.
Yeah.
So they're going to have different challenges and circumstances than we've got.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I don't know in London, is it all in the one area, the one territory? Is it on the right bus route?
Yeah.
Is it from the underground? Get no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to think some people will be analysing that data.
Yeah.
So data is kind of research is totally king. And go back into the business, do you think, UK PLC will increase it? I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
Will UK Pharma PLC increase it? Because I'm fairly sure a lot of money will be put into doing our own testing. We don't have enough labs.
Mm-hmm.
All the labs were dissipated a decade ago, plus.
Yeah.
Now guess what, we were left high and dry.
Yeah.
Didn't we see that coming? No.
Mm-hmm.
But again, come back into UK PLC contingency. Do we need that in the future? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got an outbreak, for COVID-19. You talked about Bill Gates and a nuclear bomb. Why would you need a nuclear bomb when you've got that virus?
Exactly. Yeah.
The world's locked down.
Mm-hmm.
Locked down.
Yeah. It's way more powerful, than...
Way more powerful. So will that give some of the naughty people out there some ideas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
We might see.
And from even a commercial standpoint, business-wise, would you say that probably this is a big eye-opener that a lot of businesses need to move at least not only some of their services, but at least have offerings of online or things that will be not as much affected as they would your traditional bricks and mortar kind of business?
I think you're right. Online is obviously key, but I think I would caution to be a clamour online.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I go back and you need to do your research.
Yeah.
You need to look at your market. Who's your market? Who's your demographics? Who's your target?
Mm-hmm.
How are you segmenting? How are you going to position that?
Yeah.
All those things are easy to say but hard to do. So it's easy to put stuff online. And to use my words, do you want to have a spray and pray approach?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to many or do we want a few?
Yeah.
So you have to think seriously about what your product, what your service, what your solution is, what your market is, and what your pricing point may well be with all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I work with an organisation who were traditional online, were doing okay, then analysed their business, then went to chat to Amazon
Mm-hmm.
to look at their fulfilled by Amazon model, their FBA model. Yes, it was rocketed to do that area. So again, online is key, but again, you need to look at your traditional market with your traditional competitors, and not just, to use my words, spray and pray.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's a kind of definite that you're seeing as obviously at this point everybody that can, especially for instance in my industry, the fitness industry, everybody that can is having to move online to survive. But I think that you'll probably see a lot of people who always said, we don't need a website or we don't need online presence. We're a family business. We've been here for 60 years or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's all well and good, but if the people can't get to you or they can't hear you, then, I mean, how are they going to know? I think that any business nowadays, whether it be small business, obviously when it comes to large businesses, most definitely, but when it comes to small businesses, even a landing page is going to be your shop front, basically.
Even big businesses, Andrew, are going to be tremendously affected.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be businesses out there, there'll be consolidation in big business,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be the airline industry, whether it be the transport industry, whether it be hospitality industry, etc., etc., etc. There will be consolidation, there will be mergers and acquisitions, and that's exactly what happened in the last crash in 2008.
Yeah.
Exact same thing happened. So be prepared.
Yeah.
You for that. Now, interestingly enough, Germany passed a law yesterday to stop foreign takeovers of their industries.
Probably not a bad move at all.
Great move. BMW, everybody's share price will be tanked. No question of that. Will it come back up? Yes.
Yeah.
That's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be people out there who will say, oh, I can buy these organisations at that price.
Yeah.
I was going to buy it 5 years ago at that price.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Mm-hmm.
So Germany's passed that law yesterday to stop foreign investors capitalising on the COVID-19 misfortunes. Have we done the same thing? No. Or not yet.
And see, the worrying thing is, I don't think that we will do that thing. You know, I
I'm not too
think it's a
sure
good
why,
idea,
yeah.
but
So the merger and acquisitions, people have to be ready for that.
Mm-hmm.
Come back into where we come in the early discussion.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the lazy people there? Our CEO's sitting thinking there, 2 months' time, whatever a time period may be, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to go back in there, and I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
All change.
Yeah.
Be prepared, it's all change.
Oh yeah, and I think, like you say, even especially in the UK, you will see a lot more businesses but within the next couple of months go under. You know, I mean, you seen Debenhams, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, they're in administration, or that's so they don't have to pay anybody.
Yeah. And you can see who's in the background with them as well. But Debenhams, I've seen them, and then I've seen there was actually quite a big company called City Blinds. It's a Scottish-based company. They went out the game. I've seen that, and but from a small business standpoint as well, you're seeing a lot of small businesses doing the same thing as well. You know, I mean, me and I don't know if you know, me and Mick Barrett went for a meeting just before the lockdown, and we went to the Alona Hotel just beside Strackley Park, and we walked in, sat down as we usually would. Literally as we sat down, a chap walked over to us and said, "Sorry guys, you're going to have to go." This was at like 10 a.m. I would say. You're going to have to go. And we went, all right, okay. He says, "Oh, we've just been paid off there. There's 70 of us have just been paid off there, so that's us shut." And I went, Jesus Christ, that's when I really went,
Yeah, the reality. So
this
is...
is...
There's going to be some good employers and bad employers come out of this.
Yeah.
You've named one. There's another one, a well-known publican.
Right.
Who stated, that's it, you're all finished.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you don't have a job, do you want to go and work for Tesco?
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
So what's the image of that company?
Terrible.
When we get back,
mm-hmm.
and we will be back,
yeah,
are people going to get in there for a beer?
Yeah.
I suggest no.
I think...
So people have got to be very careful how they treat them. The government, I know there are holes in what the government have done, but they're trying to do, to say, they're flying a plane while it's still being made.
Mm-hmm.
Are there holes in some of the grants? Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's been done, to use the words, at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that means they don't have the answer, because I think it's something out there to stop some of the behaviours that are being exhibited.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I think like you say, this is the time where you see employers that are good employers, but then equally also I would say this is a time where you see employees that are good employees and bad employees as well. You know, it gets to the stage where it's kind of everybody ends up going for themselves. You know, I mean, I do see some criticism of one of your big amusement parks. They laid off 100+ people, and there was a whole social media backlash. Oh, how could they do that? Blah blah blah. This was before the announcement of the 80% furlough. How can they do that? I can't believe it. Blah blah blah. And then I thought to myself, right, okay, what do they expect to be paid in? Do they expect to be paid in tokens? Because there's no cash flow. How this was prior to any of the support that was announced. The PM basically said, don't visit amusement parks or restaurants or pubs or clubs or anywhere like that.
Yeah.
So if a business has had the neck cut off it, then it's just, I think people like the typical outrage approach. You know, I think obviously like your publican, that he's a jackass, we all know that. But and what he did was obviously ridiculous as well. But when you look at other businesses that are basically going, look guys, we've got no money here to pay anybody, and we're not getting any money in. So here's the option.
I think what will happen in businesses is very similar to what's happening in the financial sector. I may be totally and utterly wrong. Financial sectors will know that the crash in 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They didn't have any money in reserves.
Yeah.
What did the Bank of England and what did Mark Carney do? He did a stress test in the unlikely event of this happening again.
Yeah.
And that went on for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
I may be wrong, but I would suggest that if you're a business, you need to do that stress test on your own business.
Yeah.
And say to your shareholders, see that money? That's a rainy day fund.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then it's a temptation to dip into that rainy day fund when things are not going terribly well. And as I mentioned earlier, the first one in any balance sheet that goes is research and development.
Yeah.
Easy picking.
Yeah.
And I think it's a wrong picking, personally. So to do the stress test now is in law, that the banks have to have so much funds kept there, to use my words, for rainy day fund in the unlikely event of a financial crash. So I would suggest that in any business people will have that as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's one of the things that you'll see is people that will require funds and will require even lending as well. Kind of from here on out, because the thing that I'd watched recently, and I know you've seen it as well, is when you look at the banking industry previously, or the financial sector previously to the crash. The film The Big Short is one of the best things that you'll watch, because it was the Wild West. And then, don't get me wrong, like without going too much into that, with it being the Wild West, there was only one person was arrested for
let me tell you a true story. Singapore, right, is the eighth richest the richest country in the world. Up until recently, financial sector, still are a financial sector. People I met out there, they were at the coalface in the 2008 crash. They're still coming to terms with it, with their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And asked them financially, without them giving me a number, how did it affect them? And he says, listen, when I was doing what I was doing, I got, and listen to this please, 100% commission on every trade.
Jesus.
100% commission. I mean, that's unsustainable. That can't happen. Guess what? So, and these guys have now got their own wealth management companies, earning a fraction, which is still very healthy, I may add, of what they were earning.
Yeah.
And that's, going back into the analysis in the financial sector, that can't do that. Now, if we look at the current retail sector, the rates, the funding, and everything else that happens.
Yeah.
Again, will that change? I would like to think so, to do that. It's not because of the hard-working people at the coalface.
Yeah.
It's not because of the hard-working people in middle management. It's if you're going to borrow money and you're going to pay an exorbitant rate, how much money are you going to come in to pay that? Oh, guess what? I don't have any money in the kitty. I'll get an administration.
Yeah.
Do that area.
Yeah, I think.
Emphasise administration and not liquidation. As well, know there's two big differences.
Yeah. And I mean, even the big Debenhams company that's went into administration, I think they were kind of back and forth with a merger anyway, were they not? As of recent with your House of Fraser man.
Again, that was people looking at equity buyouts and different things. Now, the way to look at any company, if you look who's short selling in the market, they're in trouble. Yeah. Classic example of that was Carillion. Now, anybody that's got any financial nuance, and there's many of us out there, if you see short selling, to me that's D for danger.
Yeah, for sure.
And how the government awarded them a contract before things happened, but how, when you see someone short selling there, in a time of crisis, as it was in 2008, that should be temporarily halted or temporarily ceased. Yeah.
Because you wonder what do they know?
Today.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm saying. I mean, you wonder what do they know that nobody else does. The person that's short selling, what do they know? You know what I mean? They must know something. So that's why it's
exactly to do that. And it's one of those things. People say there's no smoke without fire. Right? Let's do it. That's not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
But to me, that is a red alert, a warning sign for any finance director, for any CEO to do that. And I would. One of the things that surprises me with the government is one of the first things they did in 2008 financial crash. That's what they did because people were short selling the banks.
Yeah.
Well, there's another one bust. I'm sure you remember Gordon Brown at a press conference, and a journalist's mobile phone went off. He said, "Is that another bank went bust?"
Yeah.
That's how serious it is to do that. And I'm not laughing at that and to do that. I would like to think that some of the safeguards they brought in then should be brought in now to safeguard other sectors.
Yeah.
Whether that be the hospitality sector, you mentioned that a hospital, whether it be your sector, within the fitness and wellbeing sector, and as well as continuing with other sectors to put a freeze on that, so we don't get in the nastiness out there, people making money out of people's misfortunes in this COVID-19.
Yeah, and I mean, do you think that there is? Well, I'll give you my kind of opinion first, but do you think that there is any businesses out there that are almost pandemic proof to somewhat? And what I would say with that is supermarkets, for instance. just now, your Morrisons, your Asda, your big supermarkets are jam-packed. I mean, the long distance drivers, they actually got their taco exemptions taken off them, meaning that they can work basically an unlimited amount of hours to fulfil the demand that's needed. Your supermarkets being one of them just now. So a lot of your food places, rather than your sit-ins, a lot of your kind of fast food places that are doing takeout, and obviously your Amazon that's still doing deliveries, but more so supermarkets, because number one, you need to go to get stuff, right? That's fair point, it's fine.
Yeah.
My only thing is, and I love it because the way I looked at it, I thought, this is brilliant, this is absolutely brilliant. As you get to the supermarket, right, because obviously the laws of social distancing are in effect, you have to stand 2 metres away, and there has to be only X amount of people that go into the supermarket. So as you drive up to this, or drive past it, or walk past it, you go, bloody hell, that place is really busy. It's that busy that people are queued outside the door. There's a demand for that place, so I want in on that place, and I need to get in there. So basically what's happened is, and I know obviously the social distancing has been placed upon them for that, but what's basically happened is the shops went, we're a really busy shop front. We are showing that we're a busy shop front by creating the demand, and people are then going nuts. And then obviously there's pictures and videos of shelves that are empty, and you know.
Again, go back into my big data, right? Now, in the build-up to what happened way back in week 1, whereby there was a run on shelves, we all know the toilet roll stories.
Yeah.
We all know that. Why not use the data? Who's coming into that store? Mm-hmm. How many times have they been in, and what have they bought?
Yeah.
Dead easy.
Yeah.
Have we used that? No.
Yeah.
The store can then say, when they go and pay with their club cards, whatever reward card they may or may not have, or their own credit card, sorry, Gov, you've been here 3 times this week, you bought X. Mm-hmm. Stop. Dead easy to implement. Haven't done it. Mm-hmm. So they've got the data there for their own reward cards.
Yep.
Why not use it? I'm not saying not sensibly, because I work with an organisation that did all that data.
Yep.
Why not use it effectively in this current crisis? We don't do it. But get back into which the companies may or may not be proof in the current pandemic or future pandemics. The supermarket one is a good one to highlight there. I mentioned earlier on business plan, use the what if. Mm-hmm. If I was those supermarkets, I would look at my supply chain. Mm-hmm. What if my supply chain stops? What if something happens in a warehouse? Yeah. What if COVID-19 takes place? Mm-hmm. Guess what? Your supply chains may or may not be there. Yeah. And I'm not scaremongering. I'm just saying, so go back into preventative measures. Do we test the NHS staff? Absolutely. Do we test care staff? Absolutely. Do we test dental staff? Absolutely. Care homes? Yes. Also, the key workers. Mm-hmm. And they are a key worker. Let's treat them with respect as a key worker to do that. Yeah. So give them that. And wearing gloves. You know, why does a dentist only wear 1 pair of gloves per patient?
Exactly, because he doesn't want to spread
germs. So why are delivery people wearing the same set of gloves?
Yeah, and touching a million different people's stuff and hands.
Absolutely. So we need go back into fairly basics. Mm-hmm. But get back into sectors in any future pandemic, and I hope to God I never see one as long as I live. Mm-hmm. To me, I'm going to be controversial with one of them. If you look at NHS, we need NHS. Yeah. We all know the challenges NHS have faced on their austerity. Mm-hmm. Guess what? In my opinion, and I would say the country's opinion, they're now getting the rightful monies that they do need. Yeah. If we did the capacity a decade ago, we wouldn't need to build them Nightingale hospitals all over the UK. Mm-hmm. Spare capacity is good, whereas when your challenge is to say, we don't need those beds, guess what? We build new hospitals with less beds than we did the previous hospital. Yeah. Why? Because it's economy, it's economics, not the health and well-being of the community. Mm-hmm. And we all know we need to do more in the community. Now that's going to be a challenge because those frontline people need PPE. Mm-hmm. Come back into PPE, you can only use one mask, you can only use 1 pair of gloves. And if you're doing care in the community, you need to wear multiple pairs of gloves.
Mm-hmm.
One occasion, one worker used 7 pairs of gloves with one patient at the care, and we do that area. So NHS for a pandemic is needed. There. The other one is the military.
Yeah.
So if you're supplying anything to NHS, if you're supplying anything to the military, and I don't mean by arms, I mean anything else, whether it be PPE equipment, whether it be technology, for that there, you will always need those 2 sectors.
Yeah.
And then the last one, in my view, is communications.
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about online, you need comms.
Yeah.
Now, for the first time last week, I got on my mobile network busy.
Right, okay.
I've never had that since I had an analog Nokia 10 years ago. So
that's true though, because that's how people are communicating. It's a vital chain for them to get, basically, from a communication standpoint, from A to B. And I mean, obviously, the platform we're using just now is Zoom. If you told me a year ago, by the way, there's going to be about 90% of people in the world that are getting an internet connection are going to be using Zoom next year, I'd have said you were insane.
Zoom subscriptions went up over 200 million.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And that's,
as you know, they use the Gillette principle, in my opinion. So you buy a Gillette razor, or you may get it for free, or you may get it for £3.85 or whatever. Well, where do they make the money? It's on the cartridges.
Yeah.
So where does Zoom make his money? You're in for 40 minutes free. Oh, wait a minute, you may need longer than 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You pay subscription.
Yeah.
The key to that is subscription. So you've got planned, controlled revenue amounts. Every month you know what's happening. Not a spike for licenses models, but you've got a subscription model there. So if you're a finance director, you know what's coming in.
Yeah.
Then you can allocate that money to your R&D budget all the time. And then your other funds for risk to do that area. So those are the 3: NHS, the military, and by that I don't mean arms.
Yeah.
And then obviously communications. Now with the advent of 5G and driverless cars and drone technologies and everything else, again we're going to use that data. So I could talk about data till the cows come home.
Yeah.
But I guess we're coming to the end. I can see you looking at a clock, I think.
No. I'm thinking to myself, this is probably the time to ask the most controversial question of the podcast. I'm the guy that's walking in front of the firing zone here every time I ask you a question, because I'm giving you my opinion first, right? So that I'm seen as. So from your opinion, do you think there should be some kind of a world sanction or penalties for the worldwide economic interruption caused, right? My viewpoint is it's almost impossible for there not to be some form of implication, right? I know that all different countries are governed by different laws and different rules and different regulations, but when one of those countries impedes anything to do with the other country, in terms of production, in terms of economy, in terms of anything, then there has to be some repercussions carried out for that. And that doesn't matter if it was a virus that started in the UK, if it started in Europe, if it started in Asia. It doesn't matter where it started. There has to be some form of sanction or some form of response to that happening. That's my diplomatic answer.
Okay, I was going to be undiplomatic, but I'll be
you can be.
Yes. I think we're in uncharted territory. There was a consultancy company issued a report this week around the very same topic you're talking about to a very nameless company, which I'll not name here.
Yep.
To do what you're suggesting is to look for recompense to do that. So we're uncharted territories. I don't know international law, and I'll make that quite clear. I'm not a lawyer. I think we need to look at the evidence, go back into evidence-based. We all know law is evidence-based. So have we got intent? That has to be proved.
Yeah.
And is it being negligent? That has to be proved or not. And then the value, that has to be proved or not.
Yeah.
So I think we're uncharted territories. I think to me it's a United Nations area, international law in The Hague to look at all that aspects. But we've been, if people have known about what's been going on and not told the UK, or if the UK has not told the British public what's happened, I think obviously there's got to be learnings around all of that.
Yeah.
Like you, I'd rather be told we're going to be locked down until May, June, July, August, September. I don't like saying that, but I want to know about it. Then you can plan. Not being spoon-fed. We're not babies.
Yeah.
The same as with the virus, do people know what's happened? And if so, tell us. Then you can look at the actions, and actions have to happen. I think there will be, I wouldn't say repercussions, there'll be some sort of serious diplomatic discussions when we're over, to use the word flatten the curve, and we're at the other end.
Yeah.
Will that happen this year? I doubt it. This calendar year, I mean. Will it happen? Yes, to do that.
Yeah.
There's already been a journalist asked Dominic Raab that question. Being a politician, he didn't answer it. He smiled.
Yeah.
So, do people know in the UK government what's happened? In my opinion, absolutely.
Yeah.
To do that area. But financial repercussions, I think everything has to be on the table. We're now in debt. I think we're now 16-70% of GDP in debt. That's more than the Second World War.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how long did it take us to do the Second World War pay off? It was only when Gordon Brown was a Chancellor to pay off the last tranche. So what did that take? Rule of thumb, 50, 60 years? So we'll be paying this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Next 50, 60 years.
And I mean, from an undiplomatic standpoint, I would say if there was the agreement of sanctions or penalties or whatever there may be, I don't think that they would be carried out. I don't think that they would be honoured. I don't think they would be able to force the. I mean, if people are saying that it originated in, for instance, Wuhan, China, I don't think that it's a tough one. But I just don't think that we would be able to say to them, by the way, you owe us X amount. I think the response would be, good luck in getting that.
I think you may be right. To do that will be difficult, but then there's obviously the transmission of it. So how did it get from there to there to here to there to everywhere? No idea.
That is a weird one. That is a really weird one.
There's lots of theories going around there. The thing about Dr. Google is you can look in Google for what you want and what you don't want.
Of course, yeah.
That's an example of that is MMR.
Yeah.
You can look on MMR to say it's going to give you autism, it's going to give you everything else. You can look on Google to say, what are you talking about? Everything's fine.
Yeah.
So again, there's goodness and badness. And again, that's the challenge of what's out there and how you use it. I'm very into evidence-based. If a scientist tells me it came from there, who am I? Andrew, you should be coughing in your elbow there.
I know. I'm social distancing. There's nobody in this room. And I mean, some of the stuff that you're going to be reading in mainstream media is also going to be a bit sketchy, So my whole thing is I've got 3 rules that I abide by during this lockdown, and I think it's probably the most practical, simple and easy thing that you can do to maintain your sanity. Number 1 is go by stats and figures provided by reputable organisations. For instance, well, I'm not sure that America would agree with me after last night's press conference, but I was going to say WHO there, but by organisations that are deemed as reputable. Number 2 is to follow government advice and guidance. So, I mean, the government make the laws, so we need to follow the laws, regardless of what you believe. You're in the country, it is what it is. And number 3 is to not listen to mainstream media, because, I mean, as a media, your whole thing is to gain an audience and maintain an audience and hold on to an audience.
Wow.
So for me, for you to get views, it's a lot more sexy you saying to me that there's been X amount of thousand deaths, which is true. It's fine. There's X amount of thousand deaths. It's not great, but there's not a headline saying there's X amount of thousand recoveries. Why? If you're going to do one, do both. You know, that's why I say revert back to the stats.
Agreed.
You know,
I think we've got to. I like you. You know, data's king. Data's key. We've got to focus on the positives.
Yeah.
Like you, I limit myself to what I read. Otherwise, you could be 24/7.
Oh yeah.
That's not going to be good for your mental health. Full stop.
Sure. Yeah.
And again, I would encourage people there to be selective, like your mobile phone. Danger is again in health. How many people are now using their mobile phone more than when they did before this?
Yeah.
Most people. So that's not good either.
No.
It's not good for your posture. It's not good for everything else either.
Yeah.
So again, get back into fairly basics, as you say, around what you read and what you don't read. I like you look at the evidence. When we're out of it, great. And to me, the mainstream media should focus on the positives. So you're right. You know what? We're week 3. Boy, that's been a bit tough. But you know what? It's actually been okay.
Yeah.
It's actually been okay there. Let's do it. Let's do some good news stories. And I don't mean the celebrities doing keep fit videos.
Yeah.
I mean Joe Public. How you coping? What are you doing about it? How's it changed your daily routine?
Yeah.
And I think the media now, go back into media and stories. Media we all know how it works. You write a story, that goes in there. Then the guy who writes the headlines is a different guy or girl.
Yeah.
So sometimes we'll know that headline is going to bury on the story.
Yeah.
It's to grab your attention. And to do that, it's about the marketing and advertising. Which colours are sexy and how can it draw it to you? No difference to do that area. But do not watch news 24/7.
Yeah.
My view of media is start focusing on the positives. We're now in week 3. We're going down. We're going the right way.
Yeah.
But please tell us exactly what's happening. Is it going to be May? Don't tell us we're going to do a review in May. And then they know themselves it's going to September. Tell you what, guys, we're in here for the long haul. Yeah. Right, here's what we need to do. And then on social distancing and people's in the park, rather than just do the blanket, everybody, why are these people in the park? Is that because they're in a flat and they need vitamin D? They need it.
Yeah.
Take that into account. And then, but if people are going out to sunbathing and they've got a back garden, wait a minute, that's naughty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So again, to me, use the data to be targeted. And I don't mean having a drone going over parks or anywhere else to do that area. So I think to me, again, it's evidence-based. Come back into your question around about repercussions financially. Will it happen? Got no idea, not a politician.
Yeah.
Should it happen? Yes. We do that area. Is it going to be difficult to prove? Absolutely. It's going to be difficult to prove. Because that organisation or country may say, wait a minute, how did it get to your country? That's nothing to do with us.
Exactly.
You didn't have safeguards at the airport. You didn't have safeguards in ships.
Yeah. Your
cruise ships, your ports of entry, your everything else. So it's one of those things, I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of imagination, but that's going to be an interesting case, when that happens.
Think of an insurance claim times 1,000,000 is what you'd have to be arguing for that.
Well, insurance claims and even the old classic in contracts, if you get a force majeure, whoever thought an act of God would happen?
Yeah.
Is that class an act of God? Is it not class an act of God? Again, legal to do that area. I'm quite sure for any insurance company, I'll tell you what, there's an opportunity if you've got pandemic insurance.
100%.
So for every challenge, for every area challenge we're in, there's an opportunity. And I keep going back into what Lord Sugar said a way back, where there's mystery, there's margin.
Yeah.
So insurance companies, I know I have pandemic insurance. Tell you what, it's going to be a top premium.
Oh, 100%.
Whoa.
Yeah. But people will pay it,
People will pay it. Businesses will pay it.
Yeah.
After that. And so again, it's an interesting one you mentioned about Wimbledon. You would like to think that the hospitality sector, the hotels would have that.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, not as far as
and
I'm
again,
aware.
Is that because it's another, number on the spreadsheet that we're never going to use it?
Yeah.
Normal insurance, we don't want to use it, but it's always there.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to pay my house insurance, the car insurance? No.
Yeah.
but it's there if I need it.
Yeah.
And that should be no different.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's a big eye opener for a lot of businesses as well, and I think I think like you say, the majority of it, 95% of it is uncharted territory, and it is really learning as you go. You know, people are looking for a lot of answers. I've had a lot of people asking me for a lot of answers, and I'm saying, listen, you and I know the exact same amount because it's from a chain higher than me and a chain higher than us. So until you get the answers publicised, then we're all in the same boat, you know. So
yeah, we don't know. We don't know. I go back into using technology, communication, using technology for COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see that more adopted, more readily, more quicker.
Yeah.
This document I prepared earlier, I'm not prepared. I'm prepared. Sorry, the Department of Health is also here. Sorry, you prepared it, not me. It says on there that we're not going to be ready until May the 5th for testing.
Yeah.
May the 5th.
Yeah.
That's at the earliest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how many do we need to do it?
Oh, exactly.
Again, I got to encourage innovators, inventors, technologists, scientists.
Yeah.
Can we improve upon that?
Yeah.
And I would say absolutely yes.
If
you look at McLaren in Formula One,
mm-hmm.
they come up with a respirator in days.
Seen that. Yeah.
Days. So there's a lot of clever people out there with clever ideas. Get them together. Whether you do a Zoom, whether you do a Loom, whether you do whatever,
mm-hmm.
boom. Do it, get on with it, and get it done.
Yeah.
Because what I do know is that people out there will be very receptive to having those devices.
Mm-hmm.
Again, all those ventilators, the reason why we don't have any, we don't make any of them in the UK.
Aye, exactly. I've seen that.
So the whole thing for me, it will change, is just in time supply.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these chemicals, for the testing kits are made in China. Guess what? China's been in lockdown for the Wuhan for 7-6 days. Is it going to come out there? So you need the government people there, DFID and everyone else, FCO,
mm-hmm.
to get that fast tracked all the way through there. In there. So are we going to start manufacturing some chemicals this country in some labs?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea, you know.
An opportunity there. Even if you have the minimum amount,
mm-hmm.
To do that area, that we're self-sufficient, self-reliant, and to me that's going to be a government bond, government protected, so that if it's not been used in 10 years' time, we don't close down the company.
Mm-hmm.
You keep them open.
Yeah.
And that's gone to the shipbuilding industry. When the shipbuilding stopped, when they made the last warships,
mm-hmm.
no more warships, vessels were finished, all the skills went. Guess what? We need more warships, we need more submarines.
Yeah.
Costs more money to retrain people and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, we need to change the model. There's a retention fee for those organisations to keep those skill sets.
Mm-hmm.
The same as whether it be a modern apprenticeship or anything else, to retain those key skills so that we don't just look at a balance sheet, as we all do and I've done,
mm-hmm.
to say, wait a minute, what's that for? We've not used that.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of it. Oh, how many labs have we got in the UK? Oh, 200. We only need 10. How's that based upon today? Or we only need 5. And that's why we're opening up labs right now in universities so we can use for testing and other organisations.
There's more substance in it, I think, than just a number, like you say. You know, there has to be more kind of meat on the bone than just the actual number. You know.
I think go back into my what if scenario. Government has to do the what if scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll be the first to admit at the end of this, is they'll say, could we have done things differently, better? Yeah. Could we have reacted, proactive, different, better? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all about learning. That's great. But put it in practice. So that you've got, you don't just look at the capacity on a ward today. We don't need it. We don't use it. So we don't need nurses. We don't need doctors. Mm-hmm. We don't need clinicians. Whoa! Wait a minute. You need to have that headroom.
Yeah.
And what we haven't got, and that's why we're all saying stay safe, wash your hands, because if that line went up, we would not have enough beds. We would not have enough ventilators to do that area. Because did anyone foresee this coming? No. But could we saw some of it coming? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why have winter health pressures every year? We don't have enough beds. That tells you. We're very lucky we haven't had a double whammy.
Mm-hmm.
With the winters with everything else.
Yeah.
And we do that area. So I think we need to look at a different model from UK government into assisting organisations that have to retain key parts. Now today that may be the pharma. Maybe biotech, maybe in the future it may well be telco.
Mm-hmm.
So that has to be reviewed and changed to do that area.
Yeah, which has been an eye opener for us,
Well, it has.
But no, Joe, thank you very much for, as I say, coming on the day. It's good to hear your kind of input obviously as well, and good to hear kind of some of the. You're a far more travelled man than I am, so good to hear your kind of stories of being elsewhere in Singapore and such as well. What if someone's trying to find you, Joe? Where can they find you? Are you on LinkedIn? Are you on social media?
I'm on LinkedIn. Yeah, so I'm there. I'm on the Lancer Business Group website, so I'm on there too.
Yep. And what I'll do as well is I'll pop your details just on the show notes as well. And it's Joe, Docherty, Docherty. That's correct, isn't it? I was waiting for the acknowledgement of that there. But no, folks, thank you very much for listening. If you did get any value from this at all, please do share it out. We aim to provide 10% better value. That's what we look to do every single podcast. So if you liked it, subscribe, share, comment to your friends, and we will see you all in the next episode. Joe, thank you very much.
Andrew, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Cheers.